In a stunning twist on the global stage, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet face-to-face for peace talks in Istanbul this Thursday. This unexpected move came shortly after former U.S. President Donald Trump publicly pressured Zelensky to accept Putin's offer for negotiations, despite the Russian leader rejecting a European-backed demand for a 30-day ceasefire. The result? A whirlwind of diplomatic tension, geopolitical maneuvering, and the potential for a historic meeting between two leaders who haven't spoken directly since Russia's invasion of Ukraine began in 2022. Zelensky's announcement came just hours after Trump took to his Truth Social platform, urging Ukraine to seize the opportunity for direct dialogue with Moscow. In his post, Trump declared, "President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement, but rather wants to meet to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately." The pressure worked. In a firm and emotional public statement, Zelensky responded, "There is no point in prolonging the killings, and I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday, personally." This marks a significant break from Ukraine's previous stance. Until this weekend, Zelensky and his chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, had refused any negotiations without a ceasefire in place. European leaders, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and others, had reiterated this position just one day earlier in Kyiv. They had even placed a call to Trump before holding a joint press conference, attempting to secure unified support for the ceasefire-first approach. Macron posted on X, "There can be no dialogue if, at the same time, civilians are being bombed." But Trump's direct and unpredictable influence quickly disrupted that strategy. By backing talks before a ceasefire, he not only shifted the tone of U.S. involvement, but also gave Putin an opening. The Russian president seized the moment to position himself as willing to negotiate, delivering a late-night statement from a ceremonial Kremlin chamber. In it, he blamed Ukraine for violating earlier truces, but said he was open to serious talks in Istanbul, suggesting he might send top diplomats to represent Moscow. Putin's messaging was carefully crafted. While rejecting Europe's demand for a ceasefire, he expressed gratitude to Trump's administration, part of a clear strategy to fracture the West's unified front and cast Russia as the reasonable actor in the eyes of Trump supporters. The tactic may have worked. Trump's post hinted at both impatience with Putin's stubbornness and a desire to test the waters through face-to-face talks. Meanwhile, Trump's own envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, contradicted him, saying peace should start with a ceasefire, further highlighting the unpredictability of Trump's diplomatic influence. On the ground, Russia's actions told a different story. Within hours of the Kremlin statement, Moscow launched over 100 drones into Ukrainian territory, effectively ending a short-lived, self-declared ceasefire that had been timed with Russia's Victory Day parade. Kyiv dismissed the pause as a media stunt to protect Putin's image during public celebrations. What's clear is that Zelensky's decision to meet Putin directly in Istanbul is both a gamble and a calculated play. With the war grinding on and diplomatic momentum stalling, this move places the pressure squarely back on Putin. If the Russian leader fails to show up in person, it will expose the Kremlin's reluctance for genuine peace. If he does attend, it could lead to the most serious talks since early 2022 and potentially change the trajectory of the war. Behind the theatrics and power plays, however, the hard realities remain unchanged. Ukraine and its allies want a complete ceasefire, followed by negotiations for a lasting political settlement and a European security presence. Russia still demands recognition of its territorial claims and security guarantees that would limit Ukraine's future alliances and military development. So what's next? Will Thursday in Istanbul mark a breakthrough or another round of stalling and strategic misdirection? As the world watches, one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher, and the lines between diplomacy, drama, and destruction are growing ever thinner. Stay with us at In the Know News as we follow this story in real time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a critical update from the front lines of global conflict.